I'm Lieutenant Governor Peter Kinder, the State Advocate for the Elderly. The program you're about to see is about a new partnership in Missouri called MOSafe, Missourians Stopping Adult Financial Exploitation. With the implementation of MOSafe, a coalition of agencies and organizations is banding together with an important goal to help stop financial exploitation of vulnerable adults. Through this partnership, we believe we can stop financial exploitation before a vulnerable adult's account is exhausted, recover funds and assets that have been exploited, push for prosecution of perpetrators through law enforcement agencies and through prosecuting attorneys, and promote awareness and use of safe banking practices. As an employee of a financial institution, you are the first line of defense. We need your help. Financial exploitation occurs when there is an illegal or improper action by another person to use a vulnerable adult's resources for gain or profit. Vulnerable adults are persons who are at least 60 years old or are disabled and between the ages of 18 and 59. They are often taken advantage of by acquaintances, caregivers, friends, or relatives. I want Missouri banks and credit unions to train their staff to recognize the warning signs of financial exploitation and then take appropriate actions to stop it. This includes reporting any suspected exploitation to the Department of Health and Senior Services toll-free hotline. The department has staff that will investigate and provide help to exploited senior and disabled citizens. I hope that each and every one of you will work with us. Together, we can all make a difference.
As a bank employee, you have a crucial role in preventing financial exploitation of elderly and disabled adults because they have frequent and regular contact with you when they bank. Prevention has two forms. First, by listening carefully, you can help your customers accomplish their goals while protecting their accounts. This involves counseling your customers on ways to minimize exploitation. Second, you must be aware of the warning signs of financial exploitation so you can take the right steps and make the necessary contacts. Being aware of the warning signs and knowing your bank's protocol will enable you to report the suspected exploitation to the appropriate agency. Here's how one teller protected the account of Edna Powell, a vulnerable adult, by suggesting a safer way to address a banking need.
Alan, it's Mom. Yes, I know, honey, but I can't deal with this anymore. I have all these bills, and I don't know what to do anymore. Alan, I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't flown in, and I know how expensive it is to fly. It's just that these bills are so confusing, and they all seem to be due.
Mom, how could I have not come?
Hello, Edna.
Hi, Nell. I'm so glad you could come over.
Mrs. Babcock, it's so nice to see you.
You too, Alice.
You've been such a good neighbor to Mom. She likes you so much.
I'm so glad you could come over.
We wanted you to stop by because we have a big favor to ask. Could you help Mom with her bills? You know, make sure they're paid on time. We could put your name on the account. Mom, is that still okay with you?
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with this, and I'm not sure I should do this.
I don't know either. Nell has done so much for me already. I don't want to be a burden to anyone.
But Mom and I trust you. You could make sure bills are paid up.
I guess I could help if there's really no other way. I don't feel very comfortable with this, though. What if something should go wrong?
That's right. Mom would like to add Mrs. Babcock to her account. She'll help Mom pay some bills and make sure the account balances at the end of the month. You know, Mom's still able to live at home by herself, but she's having some trouble with her finances.
I understand, but there are a couple of things that you may want to consider to make sure that everyone's protected. First, you can pay a lot of your bills through automatic debit. That way no one has to worry about writing the checks, and your bills are always paid on time. Mrs. Powell, you may want to consider adding your son's name to the account. That way he could do online banking for you, even from out of state. And online banking is free. Now for the rest of the bills, you may want to think about setting up a second account that lists Mrs. Babcock as an authorized signer. Now your name would still be on the check. You just estimate how much you think you'll need each month. Then you transfer that amount to the second account, and Mrs. Babcock will be able to pay the rest of your bills. The main account would still be in your name. That way Mrs. Babcock would be protected from the appearance of anything improper. And of course, Alan, you can always monitor the account online.
Oh, that's much better. I was never worried about the time. I enjoy spending time with Edna. We have a good time together. I was worried about the responsibility, though.
Mrs. Babcock may not be an exploiter, but why tempt someone? It's always better to minimize the opportunity for exploitation. The bank is just fulfilling its duty to its customers by suggesting ways to safeguard accounts. The bank acted to reduce the risk of an exploitive situation. That's not only the right thing to do, that's good business. It's common for those who exploit older and disabled persons to exaggerate their authority. They often misrepresent themselves as concerned, caring individuals acting in the adult's best interests. Let's look at an example.
Hi, may I help you?
I'd like to withdraw $1,500 from this account, please.
May I see a picture ID, please?
Oh, that's not my account. It's my mother-in-law's, Christine Parker. She's really old. She asked me to get the money.
I'm sorry. You can't withdraw money unless your name is on the account. Can you come back with Mrs. Parker?
You don't understand. She has trouble getting out. She doesn't get around very well. She's given me power of attorney and asked me to get the money. See, it's signed and notarized.
I'll have to have someone look at this. We try to be careful. You understand that?
Okay, sure.
Mrs. Gillespie, I'm Jane Hamilton, branch manager. I have reviewed your power of attorney, but it only covers health-related decisions. It does not allow you to make a withdrawal.
Oh my, I thought it covered everything. Are you sure? My mother-in-law wanted me to get the money. I told you she's not able to come to the bank.
I'm sure.
Goodness, what kind of bank is this anyway? How can you get away with not letting customers withdraw their own money?
I'm worried. I'm not sure Mrs. Parker knows that her daughter-in-law is trying to withdraw funds from her account. I think I'll call Adult Protective Services.
What good would that do?
Well, if there is a problem, they'll be able to check it out. Sometimes when a person is being exploited, other forms of abuse and neglect are going on too. I hope this is just an honest error, but you can never be sure.
You should always check the authenticity of any document. This includes signature cards, guardianship papers, and powers of attorney. These employees did the right thing. Not only did the teller consult with her supervisor, she checked the document and refused to let Mrs. Gillespie withdraw any money from Mrs. Parker's account. What do you suppose would have happened if the power of attorney had covered finances? Let's watch and see.
Yes, this power of attorney looks valid. It's an original document, it's notarized, it's properly written, and it covers financial matters. But let's just call Mrs. Parker and make sure she knows her daughter-in-law is withdrawing funds and that it's okay to give her the money. Hello, Mrs. Parker. I'm just calling to check on a matter. Mrs. Gillespie was here this afternoon to withdraw funds from your account.
The supervisor is working to protect a customer's account. She needed to find out if Mrs. Parker had really authorized her daughter-in-law to withdraw a large amount of money. Any questions about a power of attorney should be referred to your legal section for review. Remember, any power of attorney that looks suspicious does not have to be honored. If Mrs. Parker is competent and wants Mrs. Gillespie to make the withdrawal, the bank may give Mrs. Gillespie the money. However, if it turned out that Mrs. Parker didn't know her daughter-in-law was taking money from her account, the bank should not only refuse the transaction, it should also call Adult Protective Services to have the situation investigated for possible financial exploitation. Let's watch another example of what can happen to a vulnerable adult and what you may be able to do to help.
Look, here comes Clara and Vince again.
Oh, I bet Vince needs money again. I feel so bad for Clara. Why does she keep doing this?
Hello, Mrs. Hawkins. How are you today?
I'm not too bad. I'd like to withdraw $500 in cash, please.
Right.
Actually, Mom, I could use $700.
I'm sorry. Change that to $700 in cash, please. Vinny's such a sweet boy, and he's so good to his mother.
Mrs. Hawkins, after this withdrawal, your balance will only be $53.34. Will that be enough to get you through the end of the month?
Yes, don't worry about it, because I have plenty of money.
60, 80, and 700. Thank you, Mrs. Hawkins.
Thank you, dear.
That sure worries me. I bet Claire never sees any of that money. I hear Vinny gambles. I sure wish there was something we could do.
Well, she has a right to do what she wants with her own money.
I told her her account balance was low. Maybe she has some cash at home. Hello, Mrs. Hawkins.
Hello. I need $600. I have some bills to pay. They're going to cut me off.
Let me check. I'm sorry, Mrs. Hawkins. The balance of your account is $53.34. You don't have $600.
Oh, my. Well, all right. Thank you. Please, can you tell me how to get home? I can't remember how to get there.
Mrs. Hawkins, it's all right.
I have plenty of money.
Hawkins, are you
Vinny's
all right?
such a sweet boy, and he's so good to his mother. I have some bills to pay. They're going to cut me off.
Please, can you tell me how to get home? I can't remember how to get there.
Quite a disturbing situation, wasn't it? What would happen if we replay this scene and take another look?
Well, hello, Mrs. Hawkins. Our branch manager, Mr. Chiaburri, would like to speak to you for a moment in his office. Vincent, you're welcome to get some coffee while you're waiting for your mother. Come along, Mrs. Hawkins. I'll show you how to get there.
Did you see how the teller separated Mrs. Hawkins from her son? That's smart. A vulnerable adult is more likely to be forthright without the perpetrator by their side.
And your son Vinny takes most of your money?
Yes?
Let's go to my office.
Mrs. Hawkins needs help. This is a situation that should be reported to Adult Protective Services.
Yes, good afternoon. I'd like to make a report.
All reports are confidential. Adult Protective Services will investigate and help. There may be other family who can protect Mrs. Hawkins. Adult Protective Services will not only investigate, but if warranted, the case will be referred to law enforcement. By making this report, this financial institution has allowed Adult Protective Services to intervene early, which can prevent further exploitation and protect the victim. Again, the manager has taken proper steps to protect the customer and possibly uncover further exploitation or abuse. Here's another scenario. A vulnerable senior is the victim of financial fraud.
Mrs. Summers. Mrs. Summers, I'll be back this afternoon.
Well, where are you going?
I'll be back this afternoon, just as always.
Wait, what?
I gotta go, my ride's here.
Oh, man. That old coot. She is so out of it. And she's as dumb as a brick.
Did you get the check?
You bet. A couple of them right here. It's like taking candy from a baby. That old fool. She always has a couple of signed checks in her bureau drawer.
Are you sure she won't miss them?
Believe me, she doesn't even know what day of the week it is.
Cool. How much can we get?
Well, I saw her bank statement, and it said that she had $4,500 in her checking account. So, how much do you want?
Well, you sure she won't miss anything?
Trust me on this one. She never checks her bank account. In fact, she probably doesn't even know how much money she has.
Make the check out to me. Make it for some odd amount. That'll look more realistic. How about $610.95? That'll be good for starts.
Your driving is making my hands shake so much that it will look just like Mrs. Summers.
What you wanna do, you better back down, go. Cause you know I hit you real low. What you wanna do, like bust a bus, I got mad flow. I flip most like.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to cash this check.
Okay, do you have an account with us?
No, but it's for this bank. Just give me the cash.
Let me check. Mr. Rawlings, since you don't have an account with us, I'm going to have to check with my supervisor on the amount.
Come on, I don't have all day. Just give me the money.
Look, the signature matches Mrs. Summers' signature card, but the rest of the check is obviously written in a different hand.
And look, this check is way out of sequence.
What do we do?
Okay, first, get a copy of Mr. Rawlings' license and the check.
Man, what's taking so long? I don't like this.
Can you hurry up? I got people waiting on me.
Stall those folks. I'm gonna call Mrs. Summers.
Sir, I'm terribly sorry, but we're just trying to verify the account balance. It'll just be a minute.
So you don't know a Ted Rawlings?
No.
And you don't remember writing him a check for $610.95?
I don't know anything about that.
I see. I'm calling 911 to report a forgery in progress. Get the license number and make of that car.
I'm sorry, but our computer system is down right now, so we can't determine Mrs. Summers' current balance. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Wait a minute. Just give me back my check and my driver's license.
I'll have to check with my supervisor. Could you please wait?
Man, I don't like this. Let's just get the hell out of here.
They're leaving.
What kind of car was it? Did you get the license number?
License number 708QRW. It was a blue Buick.
Great job. Very observant. I'm going to call Adult Protective Services. Mrs. Summers may need some help. We've got the check and the license. This should be easy.
This teller really did a great job. She checked to see if Mr. Rawlings had an account with the bank. She noticed the handwriting on Mrs. Summers' check was different from her signature, and it was smart to call her supervisor. The supervisor knew Adult Protective Services should be called so they could follow up with Mrs. Summers. A first-class performance all around. Employees should always remember to scrutinize transactions, especially withdrawals at the drive-through windows. Take time to sort out anything that looks suspicious. Although it may slow things down, keep in mind that fast service may not be the best service.
Ruby Tuesday? Okay. Good afternoon. May I help you?
Hi, I would like to put my daughter's name on my savings account. You know I have ALS. I want her to have the money and not have to go to probate court.
Sir, there might be a better option for you. Let's talk to one of our customer service officers.
So you see, by setting up this pay on death account, you can do the same thing. All the money in the account will still go to your daughter. The account will not go through probate, and your money's still safe. It's your decision, but the pay on death account has some real advantages.
Yes, I can see that. Can you help me set it up?
Sure.
Pay pay-on-death accounts can be very beneficial. They aren't a substitute for a will, but they let a person choose who will get the money in their account after they die. While you're alive, your account is safe. Upon death, your beneficiary has immediate access to the account without going through probate. In any emergency situation, if you think the safety of a customer is threatened by a third party, call the police immediately. Don't forget to call Adult Protective Services too. There may be a need for further investigation and social work follow-up.